Hi. Today I have quite the treat for you bastards. You see, recently I was thinking of how much I enjoy those choose your own adventure books back in the day when I was young. And I thought, these days LLMs, large language models, write virtually better than anyone. That means I could theoretically create a structure, given that I am a programmer, I have cloud code and codecs. I could program a system that keeps generating branches from structured stories, and just play them. And I have found out that it's actually amazing, and I will do it all the time if it weren't because it costs money to every time you talk with this fucking greedy LLMs that honestly they need to cost money because it takes a lot of them to operate it, probably operating on a deficit. So anyway, look at this beautiful page. Well, it is not that beautiful, it simply works. One more branch. This is my app. You can play one of the stories in adventure. I have started one adventure already to 2 pages, just to prove that it worked, that it wouldn't crap itself as it was playing. And it is based in an old free verse epic poem of mine. How was it called? A Visit from Truckgun, I believe. And I shouldn't explain anything. You're going to pick up how the tone, the genre, and how the protagonist operates quite quick. So a story you have already started. Play. Get here. Some Sexy Demoness, the title. Act 1, Blood in the Pastures. And it actually has acts, really, before you start. When you provide the character concept and the world building, the NPCs and all the stuff that you're going to use, a call to the LLM actually produces a functional structure, with introduction bits, turning points, resolutions, and all that, and works well. And supposedly during play, if you veer off the beaten path too much, it will restructure the story, but I haven't seen that happen yet. Anyway, at 1, page 1, your head feels like a troll's been using it for drumming practice, and the sun, Christ, the sun, out there is a personal insult. You squint through the glare at what the locals are calling a village, which is generous. It's more like someone sneezed a dozen buildings into a field and called it civilization. That's roofed. Mud streets, the whole storybook poverty aesthetic. Back home, this will be a historical reenactment site where bored families pretend to charm batter. Here is just Tuesday. You slouch against a fence post near what passes for the village square, really just a wider bit of dirt with a well, trying to decide if you're going to puke or if last night's whatever the fuck is finally going to let you live. The party scattered around doing their competent adventure thing. Podemas already talking to some turf farmer, all business and sympathy. Her armor catching the light like she's auditioning for a recruitment poster. Bimbo's smoking something that smells like burnt hair, staring at nothing, which is usual "why am I alive" energy. Kutinairas examining her nails like she's never seen dirt before, which, knowing her, she probably hasn't in a few centuries. Thordal's doing his priest thing, blessing someone's dead coat or whatever. You're supposed to be leading the circus. That's the joke. Captain, they called you. Like you asked for the promotion. You didn't. You got hit by a truck, died, and woke up in this fantasy meat grinder with a sword you barely know how to use and a prophecy you definitely didn't subscribe to. Now you kill things for money. I try not to think about Legos or your parents or the fact that home is a place you can never reach by dying again. A woman approaches, maybe 40, maybe 60. Hard to tell when life's been chewing at you. She's wringing her hands like she's trying to wring water from stone. You're the adventurers from the guild. Her voice cracks. Thank the gods. Thank the... Please, you have to help us. The demons, there... She stops, swallows. They took my daughter 3 nights ago. Myra, she's only 16. You can feel Podema's eyes on you from across the square, waiting to see if you'll do the captain thing or the asshole thing. Sometimes they're the same thing. Took her, you repeat, your voice grumbly from the hangover. Not killed her, took her. The woman nods frantically. Yes, that's what I'm saying. The demons, they just kill anyone. They take people, drag them off. We found Joram's boy wandering back 2 days later, but he won't speak, won't eat, just stares. And the livestock, she gestures toward the fields. They're not eating them, they're arranging them in circles, like they're marking something. That gets your attention despite the headache. Demons don't arrange shit. They're supposed to be the fantasy version of a natural disaster. Show up, fuck everything, leave. This sounds organized. Organized is worse. Organized means someone's steering. Podema's walking over now. Her expression, that particular flavor of we're doing this properly, that makes you want to light something on fire just to watch her disapproval. Thorda's finished with the goat and is heading your way too, probably ready to lecture you about your duty before you even open your mouth. The woman's still talking, words tumbling out. The attacks always happen at night, always from the west, from the old woods. We've tried setting watches, but the demons are too fast, too many. Please, you have to... Yeah, you cut her off, not unkindly, just tired. We'll handle it. That's what you paid for. You paid for, not you paid for. But even as you say it, something itching at the back of your brain. Herding behavior, patterns. This isn't random demon bullshit, this is a plan. And plans mean someone's running the show, which means this simple clear out the demons contract just got a lot more complicated. The village quest suddenly feels smaller, the sun hotter, and your hangover like a countdown timer you can see. What do? This is the fun, well, it is all fun, but you know, the LLM itself determines choices which are distinct, meaningful, and you know, they aren't a waste of time. And I have learned actually through research, thanks Cloud Code, that actually if you categorize through enum values, the LLM actually is far better at classifying. So it helps, not only it helps creating better options, but it allows you to actually do this shit, which is have distinct icons, which at a glance show the kind of shit you're dealing with. Anyway, you cannot see very well. There is an arrow here. This indicates that I have already explored this path. Maybe I have to change the icon so it will play better with these colors, but maybe black or something. But I already did this. Distance yourself from the villagers and vomit out the nausea. Then get your war face on. This wasn't actually one of the options that the LLM goes. You can introduce your own custom choice, and I was testing it, and it works. So, still on the Act 1, obviously. You turn away from the woman mid-sentence, one hand up in a hold that thought, gesture that's really more fuck off for 30 seconds. Your boots crunch across the dirt toward the edge of the square, past the chicken that gives you a judgmental side-eye, past Bimbo who doesn't even look up from the smoke, until you're the tree line where nobody's watching. Then you bend over and let it come. It's not dignified. Nothing about this is dignified. Your stomach empties itself in violent lurches. Last night's whatever the fuck painting the grass in a palette of regret. Ale, wine, something that tasted like licorice and bad decisions. Your eyes water, your throat burns. For a few seconds you're just a body betraying itself, which is honestly the most honest you've been all morning. When it's done, you spit, wipe your mouth with the back of your hand, straighten up. The headache is still there, but it's cleaner now, sharper. The nausea is gone. You can think. You can work. You roll your shoulders, feel the leather armor settle. The sword's weight at your hip. This is the part you're good at. Not the talking, not the caring, not the please save us desperation. The part where things need killing, and you're the blunt instrument that makes it happen. Violence is simple. Violence has rules. You hit the thing until it stops moving, and if you're still standing at the end, you win. You walk back to the square with a different gait now. Not the hangover slouch, but something tighter, more predatory. War face on. Captain face, if you're being generous. Podema ceases immediately. Her expression shifts from concern to something like approval, although she never say it aloud. Thorda's right, standing with his arms crossed, reptilian features setting that I'm about to judge your look he wears like a second skin. The mother's still there, wringing her hands, hoping terror do it and dance across her face. Right, you say. Voice Roth was steady. Let's get the facts straight. Demons attacking at night from the westwoods, attacking people. Not killing them outright, they're arranging livestock in patterns. You found one kid alive but fucked up. The woman nods frantically. Jonas' boy, yes, he's at the healer now, but... And your daughter? Myra, 16. 3 nights ago. You're taking off points out your fingers now, brain engaging the spine itself. Any other disappearances? Anyone else come back? 2 others taken, Podema's supplies. Walking over with a small leather journal. Of course he's been taking notes. And a farmhand named Peter, 23, or Petty, 23, and an older woman, Essa, who live alone off the western edge, neither returned. Thorda's voice cuts in, formal and clipped. The livestock arrangement form incorporates circles. 5 sides. The pattern suggests ritual preparation, not random violence. This is directed activity, Captain. Demonic incursion with purpose. You don't like the sound of that. Demons with plans means someone's giving orders, and demons don't take orders from other demons. They're too stupid, too hungry to demon. Which means there's something else in the mix. A summoner, a cult, some asshole with a spellbook and a grudge. Rutinaira finally looks up from her nails, voice dripping with theatrical boredom. So we're hunted on intelligence, not merely beasts. How delightfully tedious. I assume you have a plan, little captain, or shall we simply wander into the woods and see what eats us first? The mother's looking at you like you're her last prayer. Podema's waiting to see your lead or deflect. Thorda's already judging. Bimbo's still smoking, but you can feel his attention now. That quiet readiness that means he's listening, even if he looks half dead. You've got maybe 6 hours of daylight left. The demons attack at night. That gives you time to investigate, prepare, or do something stupid. Knowing you, probably all 3. This is fantastic. Anyway, options. Investigate for information. Interview a traumatized boy. If you saw something, you need to know before you walk into the blind. I don't want to do this because I suspect he has been raped and he wasn't talking, so let's leave it at that. Method, tactic, location. Scout the western woods now what is stay daylight, find their lair, learn the terrain, set the times of engagement. I like this one. Investigate danger. Examine the livestock circles with Thordal. It's ritual magic, you need to know what they're building toward. Well, I would have assumed that Thordal had already investigated what if he said with Thordal, maybe he hasn't, so let's go prepare, maybe. Actually, I do have a system that sets and accumulates open threads and open concerns and information, so maybe we do gain some information about it. Let's go. This is one of the worst parts, obviously, of playing around with LLMs, because they have to generate shit. And in this case, they have first to generate the next page, and then they have to... Another LLM call goes to an analyst that determines if the story bit is completed, if it has deviated, if we are lagging in pace, and it could trigger, as I said before, a re-architecture of the story itself, but I haven't seen it before done. So probably it's going to consider that the bit probably hasn't even finished. The good thing about this is that I have a pace, as I said, a pace considerer or evaluator. If you fuck around for too long, it's going to push further the narrative somehow. I haven't seen it done yet, but in theory it works. But as you can see, it can take quite a bit to craft this story. Thankfully, I am here to fill your ears with my voice and my comments, but I suspect I'm going to run out of comments soon. Now you can see what beautiful alpha effect with the background and this model in front. Professional looking thing that spins, probably called a spinner because it spins. It kind of looks like a worm going in circles like this, I'm following the worm around, doing this. Oh, here it is. Jesus fucking Christ, the pages are long. Thordal, you say, cutting through Kutinaira's boredom and the mother's hope with equal efficiency. Show me the circles. The cleric doesn't smile. You are not sure his face does that, but something shifts in his reptilian features that might be satisfaction. Finally, a decision guided by sense rather than bravado. Bravado? He turns without waiting for your response, already moving towards the western fields. You follow, ignoring the mother's fresh tears and Podema's approving nod. Bimbo falls in behind you without a word, smoke trailing. Kutinaira sighs like you personally offended her by choosing work over entertainment, but she comes too, because even ancient water-slinging elves get bored watching peasants cry. The first site is maybe 200 yards from the village edge, in a pasture that probably held sheep before they became geometry. The livestock are days dead, bloating in the sun, arranged in a careful arc, not quite a full circle, but close, maybe 2/3. The position is too precise to be scavengers, too deliberate to be coincidence. Each carcass is evenly spaced, throat cut, lying on this side with his head pointing inward. Wonderful. Fuck me, you mutter, crouching near the nearest sheep. The grass around it is scorched in a thin line like someone drew with a cigarette lighter. No, not scorched, burned from below. Burned from below? The dirty safe is darker, fused slightly. Heat that came out through the earth. Jesus. Thordal kneels across from you, his cloth hat hovering over the scorch mark without touching. Infernal resonance. The ritual is incomplete, but the preparation is active. Each site like this creates a node. Connect the node nodes. He tries off, but you can fill in the blank. Connect the node nodes and you get a much bigger circle, a summoning array, a doorway. How many sites to complete it? Podema asked, already scanning the horizon. Unknown, but 5 incomplete arcs suggest a pentagram structure. If the pattern holds, we're looking at 5 points as a star. It's requiring completion with a village at the center. You stand, your knees cracking in a way that makes you feel older than 30-something. So they're not helping people for shits and giggles. They're using it to finish the ritual. Most likely as fuel, Thordal says. Oh, flat and clinical. Living essence, fear, pain. The demonic palette isn't subtle but effective. Bimbo speaks for the first time, his voice quiet and ash dry. How long until they have enough? Thordal stands, brushing death from the shrubs. Impossible to determine without knowing the ritual scale, but the attacks have been escalating. 3 nights ago, 1 victim. 2 nights ago, 2 more. Last night, he looks towards the village. Last night they tried for 4. Only succeeded with 3 because the boy escaped. The progression suggests urgency. They are on a countdown, you say. The pieces clicking together in your head with clarity you fucking hate. Whatever they're building, they need it done soon, which means tonight they're going to hit harder. Kutinara examines one of the dead sheep with the detached interest of someone studying a museum exhibit. Charming. And I assume your plan is to simply murder whatever emerges from the boots this evening. I hope that solves the problem. That's step 1, you reply, already walking toward the next site Thordal pointed out. Step 2 is finding whoever's running this shit show and making them regret their life choices. The second site is worse. Same mark, same spacing, but these aren't sheep. They're cattle, bigger, and the scorch marks are deeper, the infernal resonance stronger. You can feel it even without Thordal's priestly senses, a wrongness in the air, like the space is holding its breath. The third site has human remains. Not fresh, maybe a week old, judging by the decomposition and the smell that hits you like a fist. 2 bodies arranged in the arc with the same precision as the livestock. You recognize the clothing on one, rough homespun, the kind farmers wear. Pettier, maybe of Oresa. Hard to tell when the face is mostly gone. Podema's jaws tightens. Bimbo turns away, lighting another smoke with shaking hands. Even Cotinairan's amusement dies, replaced by something colder. Thordal is already murmuring prayers, his hands moving in warding gestures. They've been dead longer than the attacks began. These were the first, the foundation. So the demons didn't take them. You say slowly. Someone else did. Someone local. Someone who knew the village. Knew who will be missed immediately. Someone local. Podema's voice is quite dangerous. A cultist here, among the villagers. You straightened, your hand finding your sword hilt without thinking. The village suddenly feels different, not just vulnerable, but compromised. One of those tearful, desperate farmers might be the one who started this. Might be watching right now, making sure you're pointing at the demons instead of them. We're not just hunting monsters, you say, the voice heart. We're hunting a traitor, and they're going to finish their ritual tonight unless we stop them. The sun's lower now, maybe 4 hours until dusk. 4 hours to find a cultist in a village full of terrified people, prepare for a demon attack, and somehow stop a summoning ritual that's already 5-6 complete. You had worse odds. Barely, but the sick feeling in your gut isn't fear. It's the knowledge that violence alone won't solve this. You're going to have to think, investigate, and maybe even talk to people. The part of your job you're shit at. Rhoda's watching you, waiting for orders. Podema's hand on her sword. Bimbo's looks like he wants to burn the whole field just to feel something. Kutinera's studying you with that ancient, unreadable expression that makes you wonder what she sees when she looks at mortal male prime hero. The village is behind you. The woods are ahead. And someone in Betilians are cultists who think they're going to open a door to hell in your backyard. This is interesting. Let's see. Investigate information. Return to the village and interrogate the survivors. Someone knows something, even if they don't realize it. Method, tactic. Danger. Set an ambush and the incomplete ritual sites. Force the demons underhanded to come to you on your terms. Or change direction, location. Track the demon trails into the western woods. Now while there's still daylight. Yeah, I'm not sure that we are going to be good at interrogating survivors looking for a cultist. The ambush is going to lead us, the demons to come to us. I think this is the only option. I cannot think of anything else. This is an interesting case because these were actual choices, the three are going to lead to distinct paths, and obviously this is this works like a roguelike story. If you die, and you can die, although I haven't seen it, but it can end even if you don't die, if it concludes the story or something. Well, technically in the instructions it say if you cannot reliably or genuinely come up with more than one choice, consider this an ending, basically. If you have one, it's not a choice. So it's interesting that the pages are so long. They didn't, another story I played through, they didn't have this amount of content. Anyway, the story is Sonnet 4.5, which is fucking amazing. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, Act 1. You turn toward the tree line without another word, your boots already moving. The western woods loom ahead, dense, old, the kind of forest that swallow sound and makes you remember why humans build walls. Thordal fussing behind you, his longer stride eating ground. Podemas on your other flank, shield already loosened on her arm. Bilbo trides behind, smoke curling up like a tiny distress signal, and Kutinaira brings at the rear with the kind of languid grace that says she could sprint past all of you if she felt like it. The grass gives away to scrub, then to forest edge, where the light changes quality, greener, dimmer, older. You can see the trails immediately. Not one path but several, all converging from different angles into the woods. The ground is torn up, claw marks gouging the earth in sets of 3. Some prints are huge, like someone scaled up a wolf paw and added knives. Others are smaller, almost human-sized, but the gait is wrong, too wide, weight distributed like something that walks on digitigrade legs. Multiple species. Thordal murmurs, crouching to examine a print. Imps, judging by the smaller tracks, and at least 2 greater demons. This larger print suggests the brute classification, red-skinned, horned, aggressive. You've fought those before. They hit like a battering ram, fought a landslide, and they don't go down easy. How many? Tracks suggest at least a dozen imps and 2 brutes, possibly more. The trails overlap, making count difficult. Podema's already moving ahead, her eyes scanning the underbrush with professional paranoia. The trails converge deeper in, a lair or staging ground. If they're coordinated, there is a nexus point. You follow her lead, pushing into the forest proper. The temperature drops immediately, that unnatural chill that comes with infernal presence. The trees here are wrong. Bark blackened in patches, leaves curled and brittle despite the season. You can smell it now, the sulfur and rot meat stench that clings to demonic incursions like a signature. The trail leads you maybe half a mile in, winding through dense undergrowth that catches at your armor and makes noise discipline a joke. Then the trees opened up into a clearing that makes your stomach drop. It's a summon in sight, but not like the other livestock cycles. This is the source. The ground is scorched in a massive circular pattern, at least 30 feet across, with sutures carved into the earth in a script that hurts to look at directly. At the center is a stone altar, no, not an altar, a table, stained dark with old blood, and newer blood, and things that might not be blood at all. Around the perimeter are stakes driven into the ground, and chained to those stakes are 3 figures, Myra, Peter, Essa. They are alive, barely. Myra's unconscious, her eyes white and red from crying, her dress torn and filthy. Peter slumped against his stake, breathing but not moving. Esa looks dead until you see her chest rise, shallow and slow. A stand there near the altar arranging something you can't quite see is a figure in a hooded robe, human size, human shaped. Definitely not a fucking demon. The cultist. They haven't seen you yet. The clearing is maybe 40 yards across, plenty of cover at the edges, but the moment you move into the open, you're committed. You can see the western woods continue beyond the clearing, darker, deeper, probably where the demons are holed up during daylight. No sign of them now, but you can feel the rawness radiating from that direction like the heat from a furnace. Bimbo's already moving his hands in the beginning of a casting gesture, fingers twitching with barely restrained fire. Podima's eyes are locked on the cultist with the kind of focus that precedes violence. Kutinaira's studying the ritual circle with genuine interest, her lips moving silently as she reads the sigils. Thordal leans close, his voice barely a whisper. The ritual is active but incomplete. The victims are conduits. Their fear and pain are feeding the array. If we disturb them carelessly, the backlash could kill them. Jesus fucking Christ, I was going to just barge in and kill the fucking cultists. Or finish the summoning prematurely. And if we don't disrupt it, tonight when the demons return with more victims, they complete the array. Whatever their summoning comes through, given the scale, he pauses, choosing his words carefully. Nothing small enough to kill easily. The cultist moves to Myra, producing a knife that gleams even in the forest dimness. Not to kill her, not yet, but to cut her. A shallow slice across her forearm that makes her scream, the sound raw and terrified. The blood drips into the ritual circle and the surges pulse, growing faint red for a moment before fading. Your hand is on your sword before you consciously decide to move. Podema's already shifting her weight, ready to charge. Bimo's fingers are smoking, literally smoking, as fire magic coils around his hands. The cultist is right there, 40 yards, one good sprint that you could gut them before they finish whatever they're doing, but the ritual circle is active, the victims are chained in a pattern that's probably not random. You have no idea what happens if you start killing without understanding the magical bullshit in play. And beyond the clearing, in the deeper woods, you can hear something stirring, not close yet but aware. The demons know something's happening. They're waking up. Jesus Christ. Confront, fight. Charge the cultists immediately and cut them down before they can react to complete another ritual step. This is obviously going to kill the people. Method tactic. Time pressure. Signal Bimbo to incinerate the cultists from a range, but you rush to free the captives. This might work. Spend risk. Limitation. Have Thordal attempt to disrupt the ritual circle safely while the party provides cover and prepares for demonic response. Jesus, this is genuinely a choice. I think this is fits me more, and we could avoid the demons coming in. But Thordal is a cleric, so yeah. I want to see both things. Obviously, we could see both things in another playthrough because this is how it works, but let's just go crazy. I'm crazy, after all. Okay, I'm excited. I'm imagining it already as running with armor, and actually in the future I'm going to put some kind of floating panel here that shows the inventory. So I'll let you know what options you have that will help, introducing custom actions if you know exactly what you have. And given that I take a lot of data, I could just show active threats or limitations or other stuff. At one point, I could even have time of the day showing at the upper right corner, for example, a sun or anything like that. Whenever you track data, you can show anything you want. Make evaluations and all that. It's amazing. And actually one of the best improvements, all of them I have done actually earlier today, is coloring, adding enums to the choices, because I read the research that says that whenever you... Oh, there we are. Never mind. You catch Bimbo's eyes and flick two fingers toward the cultists. Burn them. Then you're already moving, low and fast, along the clearing's edge. Podema reads your intent instantly, peeling right to flank while you go left. The cultist still focused on Myra, muttering something in a language that sounds like choking, the knife rising for another cut. Bimbo doesn't hesitate. His hands snap forward, and a lance of white-hot flame fire screams across the clearing, so bright it leaves after images. The cultist turns at the sound, too late, and the flames catch them center mass. The scream is immediate, high-pitched, shockingly human. The rope ignites like paper, and the figure staggers backwards, dropping the knife, arms flailing as fire consumes cloth, and then flesh. Good. The smell hits you halfway across the clearing. Burnt hair, cooking meat, that sweet, sick barbecue stench that you'll never get used to. The cultists collapse near the altar, still burning, still screaming. You're already past them, sprinting toward Myra. She's yanking at her chains, eyes wild, not seeing you yet, just seeing fire and death, and more nightmare fury for a brain that's already broken. Myra, you shout, skidding to your knees beside her stake. Hold still, I've got you. The chains are crude iron, locked with a simple mechanism. You wrench your sword under the loop and lever hard, muscles screaming, and the iron bends just enough for her to slip free. She collapses into you, sobbing, shaking so hard you think she might fly apart. You shove her toward Podema, who's already reaching Peter. Peter? Get them out, move. Then the woods beyond the clearing erupt. Oh, fuck. Demons pour out of the darkness like someone kicked over a hornet's nest made of teeth and rage. Imps first, small, shrieking, wreathed in crude fire. Maybe 8 of them, scuttling on all fours with that insect spit that makes your gut clench. Behind them come the brutes, 2 massive red-skinned bastards, easily 8 feet tall, muscles like anatomical diagrams covered in crimson, horns curving forward like battering rams. Their cocks swing heavy and obscene as they charge, because of course they do, because demons don't give a shit about your comfort. Bimbo's already casting again, hands weaving fire into a barrier across the clearing's far edge. Flames roar up in a wall 10 feet high, and the first wave of imps hits it and shrieks, burning, dying, but there are more behind them, and the brutes just barrel through, skin smoking but not stopping. Kutinaira finally moves, her bottom evaporating into something sharp and ancient. Water coalesces from nowhere, pulled from the air, the ground, maybe her own personal reservoir of fuck you magic, and she hurls it like a battering ram. She catches one brute mid-charge and sends it tumbling backward into the trees with a wet crunch. The other keeps coming. You're at S's stake now, hacking at her chains with your sword because there is no time for finesse. The iron parts and she slumps forward, unconscious, dead weight. You grab her under her arms and drag her toward the clearing edge, your back screaming, legs burning. Podema's got Petir over her shoulder in a fireman's galley, shield up, already moving. That's her knight. The second brute hits Bimbo's firewall and just walks through it. Flames licking his skin like it's mildly annoying. Bimbo staggers back, his face pale, hands still smoking. That's not supposed to work, he shouts, which is maybe the least helpful thing he's ever said. Thulda steps forward, his voice rising in a chant that vibrates in your chest. Holy light flares from his hands, not soft, not gentle, but scouring, and he slams it into the brute's chest. The demon roars, actually recoiling, smoke pouring from the impact site. They're resistant to elemental magic. Thulda bellows, holy words, physical damage, aim for the joints. Holy words, physical damage, okay. I can do physical damage, not very good at it. Bimbo and Kutinaira are mages. Podema is our knight. Okay. You drop Esa behind a tree and turn back, sword up, just as an imp clears the firewall and comes skittering towards you. It's maybe 3 feet tall, all teeth and claws, and malice, eyes glowing like coals. You catch it mid-leap with your shield, feel the impact shudder up your arm, stab down through its back. It shrieks, thrashes, goes limp. You kick it off your blade and scan for the next threat. The cultist's body is still burning near the altar, but through the smoke you see something worse. The ritual circle is pulsing. Now faster, brighter, reacting to the violence, the blood, the fear. The fear. They said it reacted to fear. Maybe we don't have an illusionist or something like that. Only elemental mages. Well, we have a cleric, but he wouldn't have this kind of thing. I don't think. Oh, clerics do have a calm or something. Myra's blood is still on the ground, still feeding it. The sages are growing red, then orange, cycling faster. Thordal, you roll the fucking circle. He sees it, his face gone reptilian grim. It's accelerating. The cultist's death Triggered a failsafe is trying to complete on its own. The remaining brute charges Podema. She sets her stance, shield brace, and takes the hit. The impact is like a car crash, metal screaming, her boots skidding backwards through dirt, but she holds, and her sword comes out in a brutal arc that catches the demon under the jaw. Blood sprays, black and steaming. The brute roars, swings a fist the size of a ham, and she barely ducks in time. Where is the other big brute? Where was he? Yeah, the two are well, I think. Well, one is injured. More imps are circling, staying just outside Bimbo's fire, waiting for an opening. Cutinaires pulled the first brute back into the fight, water chains wrapped on his limbs, dragging it down, but is fighting her control. Muscles bulging, and you can see the strain on her face. The little circle's glow is almost blinding now. The ground is shaking, whatever's coming through is close. Jesus, what a fucking mess! Okay. I don't know what's going to happen if we disrupt the ritual circle. Strategy. Order Thordal to contain the ritual with holy words. While you hold off the demons, this is a good option. It's maybe going to kill me, but... Retreat, avoid, flee. No. Not doing that. Whoever's coming maybe is going to be worse than any of them, so... Yeah, the only one who can do anything about warding is Thordal. I cannot think anything else. Oh, this is exciting! Behind these things I'm going to check out. I don't have the... Oh yeah, I do have it. You're not going to see, I think, I'm not seeing in OBS, but in the terminal where I'm running the app, I can see if we are beyond Act 1. I mean, Bit 1. Let's see. Yeah, we are in the second bit. The first bit was considered concluded. The resolution was the captain and party have gathered intelligence from the traumatized villagers, learned the demons are hurting people rather than killing them outright, discovered their disturbing livestock circle patterns, suggesting ritual coordination, and identified specific victims, including Myra and the traumatized boy Joram. The captain has moved past his hangover dismissiveness into operational mode, processing the evidence that these attacks are directed rather than random. The bit's objective of gathering intelligence while managing party dynamics has been achieved. Let's go. You don't waste breath on full sentences. Thordal, contain it, you bark, already turning toward the circling imps. Holy words, now! He doesn't argue, just pivots toward the pulsing ritual circle, his hands already weaving light into geometric patterns. You hear him start chanting in that old tongue that sounds like rocks grinding together. Feel the air pressure change as divine magic pushes back against infernal momentum. The imps see you isolating yourself and their eyes light up with predatory glee. Five of them break formation, scattering towards you in that horrifying insect skitter, fire dripping from their mouths like drool. You set your stance, sword low, shield up. Your heart's hammering, but your hands are steady. This part you know. This part makes sense. The first one leaps and you catch it on your shield. Feel claws scrape metal, stab outward through his belly. Hot blood sprays across your gauntlet. The second comes from your blind side, but you're already moving. Pivoting. Sword coming around in a horizontal slash that opens it from shoulder to hip. It shrieks and tumbles, still burning, and you stomp its skull flat before it can recover. 3 left on you. One fades right. Where are my party members? Podema is one. Bimbo is 3 left on you. One faints right. Another goes low. The third tries to flank. You kick the low one in its teeth. Feel bones crunch under your boot. Then bring your shield edge down on its spine. The crack is satisfying. The flanker gets your sword through his throat, and you rip the blade sideways, nearly decapitating it. The last one actually hesitates, its cold eyes flickering between you and easier prey. Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. It's not, and it bolts back towards the firewall. Oh, I love it. Behind you, Thordal's voice rises to a shout. Light explodes outward from his hands in concentric rings, slamming into the ritual circle's parameter. The pulsing glow fights him. You can see it, the rails sigils wraithing like living things, trying to complete their pattern. But Thorda's got both hands raised now, reptilian face contorting with effort, and holy words are forming in the air like crystalline barriers, each one locking down a section of the array. It's resisting, he roars. The failsafe is stronger than... He cuts off, pouring more power into the ward. The ritual circle grows dim, flickers, but doesn't stop. I can slow it, not stop it. We need to disrupt the physical components. Podema's still trading blows with the brute near Petier's former stake. Her shield dented to hell, her forearm bleeding, but she's winning. Each strike she lands is precise surgical, targeting joints like Thordal said. The demon's right knee is hamburger now, barely supporting his weight. It swings wild, and she ducks under. Dries her blade up through his armpit, finds something vital. It screams, black blood fountain and goes down hard. Yeah, we got one of the brutes. But the Nairo's brute is still tangled in her water chains, thrashing, but she's got it controlled. Her face is serene, almost bored again, but you can see the sweat on her brow. Holding that much water magic in combat form is taxing even for her. Bimbo's firewall is flickering, dying. He's on one knee, breathing hard, hands still smoking. He's pushed too hard, too fast. The remaining imps, maybe 3 of them, are regrouping at the clearance edge, waiting. The cultist's corpse is smoldering near the altar. The ritual circle's glow is dimmer now, locked in place by Thordal's words, but you can feel his straining, pulling, wanting to finish. The stone altar at the center is the anchor point. You can see the sigil radiating from it like spokes on a wheel. Disrupt the physical components, Thordal said. That means the altar. That means getting to the center of an active infernal array. And she's not saying this. While your cleric is barely holding stable. So, injuries maybe. Podemas finishes her brute with a thrust through the eye socket, wrenches his blade free and throws towards you. Her face is blood spatter, green, but she's still standing. Orders? She calls. The remaining imps are watching. Kutinaira's got her brute pinned but not dead. Bimbo's tapped out. Thorda's locked in a magical stalemate with a ritual that wants to birth something you don't really want to meet. And behind the trees, deeper in the woods, you hear more movement, more demons, because of course they are. The captives are safe. Myra with Podema. Pet is breathing. S is behind cover. You got them out, that's something. But the ritual is still active. The night's coming, and you're standing in a summoning circle. It's one good push away from completing it. Oh my god. Confront. Danger. Charge the altar, smash it apart until the ritual completes. The issue here is that Kutinaira has water magic that can hit like this battering ram, so she will be more appropriate for that. Method, tactic, location. Pull everyone back and let Bimbo collapse the clearing with a firestorm, but Bimbo is tapped out, isn't he? Yeah. Send Podema to destroy the... Yeah, this is exactly what I was going to do. Spend the risk. Attention. Let's go. No, I was going to send... I was going to send Kutinaira. Well, Podema is our knight, so... If anyone has to destroy the artifact of our ritual, it should be her, I think. Well, let's go behind the scenes. You cannot see this. And see in my terminal where I have the logs. Active threats. I'm tracking here. Coordinated demon attacks from the western woods, targeting villagers and livestock. Pattern. Something is directing the demon attacks. Cultist. A local traitor is directing the demon attacks. Ritual countdown. The summoning ritual is 6 complete. Active ritual. The summoning circle is active and being fed. Ritual failed. Save. Well, this failed. What? What? What the fuck happened? I've never seen that. Never seen that. I'm going to see in the terminal if I see something weird. Okay, the second bit is considered concluded. The resolution, the party successfully tracked the demons to their summoning lair and engaged in a brutal combat with the captain finding his rhythm in violence while eliminating multiple threats. Crucially, they discovered definitive evidence that the demons were summoned through an active ritual. Circle, with deliberate coordination, the pentagram array, the cultist corpse, foundation bodies, and ongoing failsafe mechanism prove these attacks were directed rather than naturally occurring. The bit's core objective of eliminating the immediate threat and securing proof of coordination has been substantially achieved, even at the ritual's fail-safe. Creates a transitional challenge leading into the next. Let's see if I see anything in the logs that indicates why the narration is so short and apparently not concluded. There are no instructions that indicate how long the thing should be, but I've never remotely seen it be so short. I don't see anything. Okay, then. Okay. Okay. All right. You don't even look at Podema when you bark the order. Maybe it has determined that is just a choice, and I have to give another choice, which is interesting. Yeah, that could work actually. That could make sense. It kind of screws up the thing that. Okay. Okay, let me get my war face on because I'm a bit confused actually. Method tactic, danger. Rally Bimbo and Kutinera to collapse under informants because before they can organize. Okay, Podema is supposedly going to destroy the altar. Confirmed, right? The man thought that redirect his war to create a clean corridor. No way, he has to contain the thing. Avoid flee, order from retreat. No, let's stand and fight, I think. It actually bothered me, the fact that he produced so little. And seeing through the logs if I can see something weird. Now I will need to see the actual files, but I don't have it open now. Interesting. Let's see if there is something interesting in the logs that I could say while it loads. I also track the protagonist's current emotional state. It says primary dread, strong. The ritual anchor is destroyed, but something is still forcing its way through. The victory just became a new nightmare. Secondary emotion, satisfaction. The captives are safe and the immediate tactical objective succeeded. Exhaustion. Multiple waves of combat without respite. Motivation, kill whatever's manifesting before it fully crosses over. Inventory, have sword. Shield, leather armor, water skin, dried rations, small coin purse, open narrative threads, unresolved hooks. Oh, here we are. Let's go. Bimbo Kutinaira, collapse under reinforcements. You're already moving, boots pounding dirt as you sprint toward the tree line, where those shapes are pushing through the underbrush. Hit them before they organize. Bimbo looks up. Face grey with exhaustion, but he forces himself to his feet. His hands ignite, weak flames sputtering, but still fire. Fuck, he mutters, stumbling after you. Fuck. Kutinara releases her what and chains with a theatrical sight. The brute she was holding drops like a puppet with cut strings, skull already collapsing inward from the pressure she'd been applying. Always the running, she says, but she's moving. Water coalescing around her hands in whip forms. You hit the tree line just as the first demon breaks through. An imp, then two more, then something bigger showing between the trunks. You don't slow, just drive your shield into the lead imp's face. Phil's skull crunch, pivot, a slash the second one across the belly. Bimbo's fire catches the third, turns it into a shrieking torch. The bigger shape resolves into another brute, smaller than the ones in the clearing, but still 7 feet of red muscle and horns. It sees you at charges. Your brace catches first swing on your shield. Feel the impact rattle your bones. Your shield arms already screaming from the earlier hits. The dent deepens. You stab low, aiming for the knee, but it twists and your blade skitters off its thigh. Kutinaira's water whips crack across his back, opening forest in the flesh. It roars, spins towards her, and you take the opening. Lunge forward, drive your sword into the gap between its knee. Behind its knee, it buckles. You rip the blade free, circle stab again through the side of his neck. Good job! Black blood sprays hot across your face. It goes down gurgling. More movement in the trees. You can hear them close on the bark. That wet breathing, a skitter of imps. How many? You shout. 6, maybe 8. Kutinaira says, her voice is still maddening calm. More coming. Bimbo unleashes a gout of flame into the underbrush. Something screams. The fire catches on dried leaves, starts spreading. That slow them. Will also burn down the forest, but he raps, then doubles over, coughing. Okay, that's Bimbo down. Behind you, back in the clearing, Thordar's voice crashed with strain. Captain, the water's failing. I can. Podema, what the fuck are you doing? You spin. The little circles glowing. Glow is brightening again, pulsing faster. Thordar's on his knees now, both hands raised. Light flickering weakly between his fingers. The walls are fracturing, crystalline barriers shattering one by one. The altar at the center is glowing white hot, and the air above it is tearing. A vertical slash of red light, widening. Oh, shite. Something massive pressing against it from the other side. We're going to have eldritch demons of fantasy. The altar, Thorda screamed. Destroy the altar. Podema's already moving, sprinted toward the circle center. About fucking time. Sword raised, but the moment she crosses the perimeter, the ritual flares, a shockwave of heat and pressure that sends her stumbling. Her armor smoking. She grits her teeth, pushes forward, and you see the sieges in the ground writhing towards her boots like living snakes. Another demon breaks through the trees behind you. A brute, this one bigger, fresher. Kutinaira hits it with a barter lance that punches through his shoulder, but it doesn't slow. It's coming for Bimbo, who's barely standing. The walls shatter completely. Oh my fucking god. Thorders collapses forward, gasping. The ritual circle erupts in red light. What is this? The turning point of Act 1 or what? And the tear in the air widens. You can see something on the other side now. Something enormous. Something with too many limbs and eyes that burn like coals. It's pushing through. The altar's glowing so bright you can look directly at it. Podema reaches the altar, raises her sword, brings it down with everything she's got. The blade strikes stone. The sound is wrong, not a clang, but a wet crack like breaking bone. The altar splits like the explodes outward in a shockwave that flattens everyone. Oh my god, that was a fantastic climax. You hit the ground hard, ears ringing. The ritual circles glow, flickers, dims, but doesn't stop. The tear in the air is still there, still widening, and the thing on the other side is still coming. Podema's under her back, smoke rising from their armor, not moving. Okay. The fresh brute charged Bimbo. You try to get up, but your legs won't work. Kutinaira screams something you can hear. Water chains lashing out, catching the brute mid-strike, but it's too strong, too close. It rips to the chains, claws tender, reaching for Bimbo's throat. Oh my. Bimbo doesn't move, just looks at it. His hands ignite last time, flames so hot they're blue-white, and he shoves them into the brute's chest, point blank. The demon's torso erupts, ribs and organs spraying outward. Bimbo holds the flames onto the brute's upper half is ash, then collapses. The tear in the air is still widening. You can see the thing's arm now. Massive, segmented, covered in ice. It's reaching through, clawed fingers grasping at the edges of reality, pulling itself forward. The altar's destroyed, the water's gone, but it doesn't matter. It's already too far through. It's manifesting. You force yourself to your feet. Your shield arms useless. Your sword feels like it weighs 100 pounds. Kutinaira standing barely, water swinging weakly around her arms. Thorda's trying to get up, Podema's stirring. Bimbo's down. And the thing in the tear still coming. Mother of fucking god. This is an avoid situation. Just the manifestation, but then so to the threat itself. Yeah, that would make sense, yeah. It's a tactic. Time pressure. Come on, Thorda, to channel everything into a final cell ceiling wall while your boy hit time. Okay. How was the state of this? Okay, the words shattered behind Podema broke the altar. Let's do this. Oh my god. I swear, if it weren't because I have to pay for every time I hit that button, I will do this all fucking day. This is far more exciting than watching a movie, than reading a book. You're at the center. It's more exciting than even playing a regular video game, so... And imagine the fucking erotica you can do with this. Just gooning for hours. Okay, I'm looking at the logs. Let's see. I'm interested in seeing how it summarized the... Oh, wait a second. Are we in the second act? We are in the second act. The Gilded Cage. Interesting. What was then the climax of the first act? Never mind, here we are. You grab Thordal by his vestments and hold him alright. His eyes are unfocused, blood trickling from his nose. One more word, you slow into his face. Everything you've got. Seal that fucking thing. His gaze sharpens. For a second you think he'll argue, lecture you about impossible demands and depleted reserves. Instead he nods, plants his feet, and raises both hands toward the widening tear. Light flickers weakly between his closed fingers. The massive arm is halfway through now, segmented and glistening, each joint studded with eyes that swell independently. Thinks other limbs emerges, equally huge, equally wrong, spooling itself forward with methodical strength, reality tearing like wet paper around his bulk. Buy me 30 seconds, Thordal rasps. His voice is shredded. Don't let anything interrupt the casting. You turn toward the tree line. More shapes moving in the smoke and firelight, imps skittering through the burning underbrush, another brute shouldering between trunks. Your shield arm hands useless. You transfer your sword to a two-handed grip. Ignore the way your muscles scream. Kutinare staggers you up beside you. Their water magic is barely missed now. Thin tendrils. Sorry, what was coming? Demons? Regular demons? Yes, that dissipate as fast as he forms them. This is monumentally stupid, she says, but she's smiling. That mad, ancient smile that makes her look she's watching her own funeral and finding it hilarious. 30 seconds, you say. She looks. I'll give you 15. The first imp breaks from the tree line. You meet it with a diagonal slash that opens it from shoulder to hip. Two more behind it. You catch one with a back swing. Stomp the other's skull when it tries to dart past. Your boots are slick with blood. Everything's slick with blood. The brute, there was a brute, charges. Kutinara hits it with a water whip and barely slows it. You sidestep his first swing, slap at his knee, miss. It backhands you. You fly backwards, hit the ground hard enough to grab ribs, taste blood. The sword and the cleric is busy. The sword still in your hand. You roll up, come up, drive the blade into the ankle as it turns. It rolls, kicks you in the chest. Something breaks. You hold onto the sword, rip it free as you tumble. Behind you, Thordal chanting the words at old tongue, syllables that hurt to hear. Light bursts between his hands, not the weird flicker from before, but something brighter, harsher, edged with desperation. The brute's limping now, but is still coming. You cannot get up. Your ribs are grinding. Kutinara throws herself a bit, wraps water chains around his throat, uses his body weight to drag it down. It claws at her, opens furrows in her side. She screams and doesn't let go. More imps pouring from the trees. You slash from the ground one-handed, catch two before the rest swarm over you. Claws rake your face, your arms. You're stabbing blindly, feeling them pop and burst, but there are too many. Thordal's voice peaks, the light between his hands floats outward. A golden wave that slams into the tear, into the manifesting things, wraps around it like chains. The massive arms convulse. The eyes all swivel toward Thordal, and you feel the weight of its attention like a physical blow. The tear stops widening, the thing strains against the world light, muscles bunching, reality warping. For a second you think Thordal's done it. Oh my fucking god. Seal the bridge, stop the manifestation, then the thing pulls, not against the words, against the wall itself. The clearing lurches, the ground cracks, trees uproot and slide toward the tear like a falling uphill. The altar remains, shattered stone still glowing, lifting to the air, a spiral towards the bridge. Thordar's ward-like fractures, not shatters, fractures like glass under pressure. He's screaming now, not words but a raw sound, pouring everything he has into holding it. The golden chains tighten, cutting into the thing's flesh. Back ichor sprays from the bones. The thing pulls harder. The clearing tilts. You sliding towards the tear, clawing at the dirt. Kutinaira's water chains snap. The brute she was holding tumbles past you, sucked into the bridge. The imps on top of you scatter and vanish into the red light. Thordar's voice cracked. The ward light flashed one final time, brilliant, blinding, then collapsed inward. The golden chains don't break. They invert, wrapping around the thing's limbs and yanking them backwards through the dirt. The massive arms thrash, eyes rolling in every direction, claws gouging reality itself as it's dragged back through the bridge. The tear slams shut. The sound is like a thunderclap and sight all at once. Silence drops over the clearing like a curtain. Let me tell you, this is one of the best things I have read all fucking year. More than that. Thordal collapses, not stumbles, not falls, collapses, like every bone in his body just quit. That is our medic. So you drag yourself over to him. He's breathing, barely. His eyes are open but not seeing anything. Podema's sitting up now, Armos still smoking, staring at the space where the tear was. Vimos unconscious but breathing. Kutinaira's on her side, clutching her torn ribs, laughing softly. The ritual circle is dark, the altar's gone, pulled through when the bridge closed. The captives are still behind the tree line where you drag them. Out of the pulse radius, the woods are burning, but the fire's contained to the underbrush. You look at Thordal, his lips are moving, you lean close. Sealed, he whispers, not destroyed, sealed. You understand, the thing's not dead, it's just back on the side of the veil, and the ritual that was pulling through, also not destroyed yet interrupted. Someone built this summoning array, someone who knew what they were doing, someone who picked at this village, this location, this specific captives, someone who's still out there, and they're going to be pissed. Wow. No, we have to leave. We cannot do that. No, we're not going to stick around. Not when more demons can arrive. Yeah, we're getting the fuck out of Dodge. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. In the logs I'm seeing some issues that I have to fix because it's keeping in memory all the action and current state, and it's mentioning things like Kutinaira, for example, examining her nails, appearing bored with the village poverty, and obviously that is going to possibly influence what's going to happen now, but yeah. Interesting. I have a system that establishes world facts, what it considers canon, and it says things like infernal summoning rituals can have fail-safe mechanisms that trigger upon the summoner's death. Ritual circles can accelerate forward over completion when fed with violence, blood, and fear, even with an active conductor. Sealing wards can force manifesting entities back through dimensional breaches without destroying them. This is great. Okay. I think this is going to be the last, and I quit. Obviously, the story is going to remain there, but this has been a long video, probably. You grab Thordal under the arms and hold him upright. He weighs almost nothing, hollow, like the casting burning from the inside. Podema, you bark. She's already moving, limping over to where Bimbo sprawled. She slings him across her shoulders like in a firearms carry without breaking stride. Utinaira tried to stand, can't, shelters fall crawling. You reach down with your good arm and drag her up. She leans against you, blood soaking through their robes, where the brute opened her side. How romantic, she whistles. Carry me to safety. Shut up and walk. You have carried Thordal toward the tree line where the captives are huddled. Myra sees you coming and starts crying harder. Relief or fresh terror, you can tell. Petir is still unconscious. Essa's breathing, but her eyes has rolled back, so we have to move 2 other people. Can you walk? You ask Myra. She nods frantically. Good, help me with her. You gesture at Essa. Between you and Myra, you get Essa upright, one arm over edge of your shoulders. Podema's already got Bimbo and is reaching for Petir with her free arm. The woman's a fucking ox. The woods are burning behind you now. Fire spreading will burn the fucking forest. Through the underbrush in crackling waves, small smoke roars through the clearing, stinging your eyes. Your ribs grind with every breath. The cuts on your face are still bleeding, running into your mouth. Everything tastes like copper and ash. You start moving. It's not a retreat, it's a stumbling, lurching exodus. Thorda's free drag, Kutinaira's trying to walk, but mostly you're holding her up. Essa's dead weight between you and Myra. Podema's in the lead, carrying 2 people like it's nothing. Armor still smoking. The path back is a blur of pain and smoke. Trees loom out of the darkness. Roots try to trip you. Your shield arms completely numb now, hanging useless. You focus on putting one foot in front of the other. Don't think about the thing that was pulling itself through. Don't think about the cultist's body burning in the clearing. Don't think about whoever built that array and what they're going to do when they find out they failed. Just walk. The tree line breaks. The tree line breaks, fields appear, pale in the moonlight. The village is a cluster of lights ahead. Torches, lanterns, the one glow of hearth fires. It looks impossibly far. You keep walking. Villagers see you coming, shots rise up, people pour out of houses, running toward you with blankets and water. Someone takes Essa from you, someone else tries to take Thordal, but you don't let go until you see Podema nod, she's got him. They guide you toward the village square. Someone set up a triage area, blankets spread on the ground, water buckets, bandages. The village healer is there, an old woman with steady hands. She takes one look at your party, starts barking orders. They lay Bimbo down first, still unconscious, face grey. The healer checks his pulse, his breathing, pulls back his eyelids. Magical exhaustion, he says. He'll leave, but he needs rest. Days of it, okay? Thordal next. He's unconscious now, but not really present, staring at nothing. And the healer examines him, frown. Same. Pushed too far, burned too deep. He'll recover, but slowly. Kutinaira, they lay on her side so the healer can see the claw wounds. The old woman hisses through their teeth. Deep, I can clean them, stitch them, but she's lost blood. She'll be weak for a while. Podema refuses treatment. I'm fine, she says, even though her armor's still smoking, and you can see burns to the grabs. The healer doesn't argue, just moves to the captives. Myra's cut forearm gets clean and bandaged. Peter's still out, but breathing steady. Essa, the healer, works on her for a long time, checking vitals, forcing water between her lips. Finally, she sits back. She'll live, barely. Whatever they did to her, she was almost gone. You stand there in the middle of it all, swaying. Your ribs are screaming. Your face is shredded. Your shield arm won't move. Someone tries to sit you down and you shove them off. Not yet, not until you know everyone's stable. The village elder approaches, the same old one from this morning, though it feels like years ago. His face is pale. Captain, what happened out there? You open your mouth, close it. What the fuck do you even say? We found the summoning circle, killed the cultists, saved the captives, fought demons, stopped a manifestation, the party's broken, the thing's still out there, just on the other side of the veil, and whoever's built that array is still walking around probably in this village, and they're going to want revenge. We stopped it for now. The elder stares at you, waiting for more. You don't give it to him. Podema steps out beside you. The voice is quiet, meant only for you. We all need to talk about what comes next. Because that's the thing, isn't it? You stopped the immediate threat, saved the captives, sealed the breach, but the ritual's not destroyed, just interrupted. The architect's still out there, and your party's in no shape to fight anything stronger than a drunk farmer. The village's safe for tonight, maybe tomorrow, but after that, you look around the square. Villagers clustered in worried groups, whispering. The captives being tended, your party laid out like casualties. The woods burning in the distance, smoke rising to the night sky. This isn't over, even close. I'm going to look into the logs to see the analyst to determine what bit it considers we are on. It considers us we are just in the first bit, which says the party enters the capital Oh, I have read something I shouldn't. I have read something I shouldn't. Okay. That was. Oh, that's why it's still active. We still haven't gotten there yet. Okay, the first tag was absolutely amazing. Yeah, we have to find out who's the cultist. Yeah. Yeah, this is a push through situation. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here for now. That was the best session of this app I have had so far, and it's a result of the work I have done this past couple of days. So this is great. That's just fantastic. Okay, I hope you enjoyed. The couple of people who read my posts, who watches these videos. You are champions, all of you. Although you probably hate my guts, if you even have any thought towards me, and you aren't just idly playing with your balls while listening to this. Yeah, you. Anyway. Okay.